Hey everybody, I'm going to read to you an article out of this magazine that I bought. It was all about Notorious B.I.G. 25 years after his passing away. So this article is called "Sky's the Limit." I'm going to read this to you. Under the title, it says, "After years of living high as a drug dealer, Biggie Smalls made his name as an up-and-coming rapper and signed his first music deal with Uptown Records. Christopher Wallace began selling crack cocaine when he was 12 years old. He may have loved rapping, but the only hustle he cared about was making money. And by the time he was in high school, he was earning it hand over fist to the tune of thousands of dollars a week. He wasn't interested in building a nest egg either. He spent the money on clothes and weed, gave it to his friends, and basked in the high life. Big Chris quickly became a fixture of the neighborhood, a gentle giant who was always ready with a joke and willing to throw down on a friendly freestyle in the street. His mother, Valletta, either didn't realize what happened to him or refused to admit it. "I found out about my son and his little antics through his music and through magazines," she told the New York Times in 1994. "I read this thing and said, I never knew." Christopher himself admitted to being a sneaky nigga, hiding his clothing on the roof so Valletta wouldn't see the flashy attire he'd accumulated. When she did find out, he lied and told her that he'd borrowed it from friends. Even as he got into trouble for skipping school, she held out hope that it wasn't too late for him to correct his ways. But Christopher's mind was made up. The life of a dealer, though cushy, when all was well, came with constant danger, police raids, short-changing clients, threats on his turf. In 1989, he was arrested for carrying an illegal firearm. He didn't have drugs on him at the time, but was given 5 years probation for the gun. A year later, he was picked up again for violating his probation. By that point, another local dealer known as Zakel had turned him onto the less competitive market down south. Together, they rented an apartment in Raleigh, North Carolina, ferrying crack back and forth from New York to sell to the locals for 4 times as much as he claimed. Then in 1991, Christopher was busted on drug charges in North Carolina, where he served 9 months in jail. During his stays in New York, Christopher, calling himself Biggie Smalls, still dabbled with his rapping hobby, through which he joined a local Brooklyn group called the Old Gold Brothers. A DJ friend, 50 grand, convinced him to record some of his rhymes and was so impressed by what he heard that he made sure to get the tape into the hands of Mr. C, the DJ for one of Biggie's idols, Big Daddy Kane. The tape that he brought me was just a home basement demo, but I was blown away, he said. C offered to become his manager and began shopping around a re-recorded demo, Microphone Murderer. Finally, it came to the attention of Matteo Capolongo, an editor for The Source. Biggie was featured in the magazine's unsigned hype column in March 1992. Soon, everyone's eyes were on him. Enter Sean Puffy Combs, the ambitious A&R man at Uptown Records, who was eager to capture some of New York City's hardcore rap scene. "I knew Big was the greatest rapper I've ever heard," he told GQ in 2014. It was like witnessing a miracle or something. Floored by a freestyle Biggie did in the Uptown office, Combs signed him to a $125,000 deal and had added him onto the Heavy D and the Boys track A Bunch of Niggas, released in January 1993. His first solo single, Partying Bullshit, named for a line from a Last Poet song, dropped in June. By year's end, he also appeared on a remix of R&B singer Mary J. Blige's smash hit What's the 411 album. Still, Biggie was reluctant to change his ways. He continued selling drugs after the deal with Uptown was signed until Combs caught wind of it and called him. "What the fuck are you doing?" Combs demanded. "I thought I told you about that shit." The rapper had more than himself to worry about. In August 1993, his ex-girlfriend Jan Jackson gave birth to a baby girl, Tayana. Biggie was determined to give his daughter all the privileges he had lacked. She ain't got nothing to worry about, he told Rolling Stone in 1995. All she got to do is finish school. At the same time, he was crushed by the news that his mother had breast cancer, for which she went a mastectomy. He doesn't want anyone to know that he's not as tough as he thinks he is, said Valletta. He cries inside. He bleeds inside. The future was far from resolved in his favor. Despite the support of label brass, including co-founder Andre Harrell, Uptown had a distribution deal with MCA, whose owners didn't take kindly to the harsh and often profane or sexually explicit content he delivered. That July, shortly after Tiana's birth, Combs was fired, having let his overspending and arrogance get in the better of him. Suddenly, Biggie was without a contract. Then Combs made a Hail Mary play. With the help of record mogul Clive Davis, he received funding from and a distribution deal with Davis Artista Records to set up a new label of his own. Bad Boy Records would be Combs' ticket to changing rap music forever, and his star signing was the Notorious B.I.G. So there's another part to this that says Biggie, what's in his name? But I will read that at a later date. But hope you enjoyed the article, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and message. Please, peace.